So, have you ever thought about what you'll leave behind when your life is done? For many people, that legacy is their children.
And Bob Buckley is here now with the story of some people who are creating that legacy against long odds.
And what do you do if you can't create children the way that most of us think of doing that? Well, that is the case for millions of Americans. And as our society changes regarding the structure of families, there's a lady from the Piedmont who believes that she has a gift that she can, and in a way, needs to give. The gift of life.
Want to bounce around a little bit?
In Richmond, Virginia, Jesse and Andrew are living that story as old as humanity itself. Two dads bonding with their children before starting their workday.
They're beautiful.
More than 3 hours south in Greensboro.
Yeah, that's the shirt that my friends say I need. I make people. What's your superpower?
Alison via Cherkovsky reminisces about her pregnancies.
So it's a calling.
Absolutely, it's a calling.
Where these stories come together seems like divine providence, a concept Andrew and Jesse know a little something about as rabbis.
So I always assumed I would have a family.
I don't think we ever had an explicit conversation about it early on, but it was just something that we both knew.
They were married in October of 2010, before the same-sex marriage movement began to coalesce, and began looking to have children a few years later.
So we were looking for a carrier, a gestational carrier, who would be able to be part of this process with us, not just a womb for rent.
This is my family years ago.
In Greensboro, Alison's life with her husband and 4 kids looked like something straight out of a storybook. Yet she had a sense that she wasn't done.
When I thought that my family was complete, I knew that I wanted to do this for other people.
She began to research how she could help others feel the same parental joy that she felt.
I weeded through a lot of nonsense. You know, I give you $500, you give me baby? No. No.
On websites that connect surrogates with potential parents, Alison found women with long lists of what they would not do.
Some women would only carry for Catholic families or Christian families. So many know.
Alison felt that men like Andrew and Jesse were not getting a fair shot.
Yeah, but that's Jesse and Andrew.
And as they got to know each other, they discovered those divine connections.
So Alison has had 4 of her own children and had carried once before. And of those 5 kids, my cousin delivered 2 of them.
Then it was time for their connection. Last September, Alison delivered those twin boys to Jesse and Andrew. That moment when she hands over the life she has carried is why she does this.
And when that baby comes out, I'm looking at those dads' faces, and I know that I was partly responsible for that feeling and that look of love and joy, that here you go moment. That is what I look forward to from day one of this process.
A process she is starting for the 3rd time. This week, Alison had 2 more embryos implanted for another couple, Mark and Dana.
For the 2 of us, we found love with each other. Now we just want to share that love with a child.
And add to the pictures in their family's collection. They went through a 2-year process of finding and connecting with Alison.
It's one of those things when you find someone that you trust, especially through this process, you don't want to lose them.
These are families that will now be connected long after the umbilical cord is cut.
And we just fell in love with her and her husband and the kids.
Yeah, they're great. They're amazing.
They're just an extension of our own families.
And you know what? They're part of this process too.
These men having babies of their own was an idea that seemed far away just a few decades ago.
I just think it's the new normal.
Sprung from the thought that love is the most powerful force on earth.
Knowing if you have a gift to give, you give it.
And Alison should know by the end of next week if the latest set of embryos have implanted for Mark and Dana.
And did either of these couples in your story consider adoption?
Well, both of those couples considered it seriously, but that's still a difficult road for gay men, and in the end, they wanted something that was part of themselves.
So are these Alison's or the men's biological children?
Not Alison. She's never used her eggs. Those are donors, but in each case here that you saw, the men donated their DNA for the child.
Okay, I thought.
Thank you.